It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. So good to be hanging out with you this morning. Right now, let's get into some baby talk. It is a Thursday, after all. We love it. Now, bonding with your baby, it may seem as if it should come naturally, but about 13% of new mothers globally deal with postpartum depression. Now, early bonding with mom is crucial to a newborn's sense of security, and the new world is much less comfortable than the warm, cushy uterus. And mom is a warm, cushy connection to that safe place as well. And if mom is depressed, that connection is unstable, impacting an infant's early development.
Exactly. Now, while you may not know everything about babies, you can learn with Clover Nutrikids this morning. That's why we invited Kath Megaw and Dr. Bavi Vythilingum. Yes, that surname is absolutely getting me this morning, to chat about postpartum depression and, of course, not only the effects that it has on mom, but on baby too. Now, welcome, ladies, to the show. I have seen this before in one friend of mine, and it is something that if you don't understand it, can be quite a crazy experience. Do you want to tell us what postpartum depression is?
So, can I kick off?
Absolutely.
Postpartum depression is depression that happens in the postnatal period, or the postpartum period, after you've had a baby. But we actually like to talk about perinatal depression. Depression happening during pregnancy and depression happening afterwards, because often mums get depressed during pregnancy and it continues into the postnatal period, and it's depression that is often caused by the pregnancy, the hormonal changes, the birth of the new baby, that whole constellation of things that makes up having a new baby.
Wow. A friend of mine, just to tie into that, a friend of mine realized that only in her later years she had no baby pictures of herself because her mom didn't know she was going through postpartum depression, and so had never formed a bond with her, which only, of course, she realized in later years there's no baby pictures of her whatsoever because no one ever knew what was happening to her mom at that stage.
It is such a serious. I mean, I've been through it, and with my two boys and my wife, there were definitely signs of some postpartum depression, and I presume is it a hormonal changes after delivering baby and also going through? Is it really all about the hormones at the end of the day?
It's complex because it's different from mum to mum. So we talk about postpartum depression as one illness, but it's probably a couple of illnesses where some mums it's very hormonal, other mums there are social factors that come into play. Sometimes it's the adjustment, lack of sleep. I mean, you've got young kids. Lack of sleep is a huge problem, and that can often feed into it.
And of course, it's so crucial to make sure that your baby, the toddler, gets the right nutrition from the get-go, making sure that they are healthy. Now, can a mother's diet play a role in postpartum depression, ultimately leading to malnourished children at the end of the day?
I think there's definitely, moms often forget to eat, and we know that if our blood sugar drops, we are more prone to different mood swings. So it won't be the cause, but it can definitely exacerbate it. Also, moms can become nutrient deficient if they're not taking the correct vitamin supplements that replenishes their body. Their body's been through a lot growing this baby. And then if they are breastfeeding as well, they need in a lot more nutrition and calories. And for example, even like your B group of vitamins, which are definitely some of your mood stabilizing vitamins, if those are lacking due to the stress of the pregnancy, and that might add extra to the response that the mom has.
I want to ask, does postnatal depression affect dads as well?
Well, I think both of us have experienced that dads can get depressed as well.
Definitely.
And often it happens when mum is depressed. As mum gets better, dads start realizing, actually, I've been depressed as well.
Oh, wow.
But it can happen in isolation. Fathers can get depressed without mothers being depressed. And it's about, we're not sure because we haven't done as much research, but it may be up to 1 in 10 fathers who get postnatal depression.
And maybe that's also a subject that's really not talked about a lot, because a lot of focus is on the woman and the new baby, and this is quite a big one as well. But I mean, we are sticking to the women, but I think it really comes down to not only, like we spoke about, the hormones, but the diet and the adjustment period when you get that new little critter in your house. It's a big change, and I'm just thinking back now to when my two boys were born. It is huge. Nothing can prepare you for that, and to make that adjustment in your head is monumental. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we are chatting about postpartum depression, not only for mothers, infants, but for the family structure as a whole. So our lines are open this morning, 021 430 9881. This is a safe space. Our experts are here on the couch ready to answer your questions. So please do give us a call. We'll be right back after this.
Nutrikids, good for mom, way better for kids. Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC3 Thursday. And that means baby talk on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. We're tackling a big one this morning, postpartum depression and infants. And joining us, we have psychiatrist Dr. Bavi Vythilingum and also clinical pediatric dietitian Kath Megaw joining us on the couch. Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us.
Before we get into any more questions, we've got a call on the line. It is Estelle from Bloemfontein. Estelle, good morning. What is your question for our experts this morning?
Yes, hi, good morning, team. I would like to know from the ladies, depression, can it cause us any miscarriage? Because my daughter didn't bond with the babies from the beginning. I'm the grandmama, and there is more a bond between me and them. They know she's the mama, but I'm the one that's more important than her.
So she's
Can you
asking,
please answer that?
can depression, if a mom, an expected mom, if they're depressed, can it lead to miscarriage,
Miscarriages.
for one? And also, can it cause a separation between mom and baby? Because she's the grandma and she feels she's the one that's more there than mom
Yeah,
at this
has
stage.
got a better connection with the baby than the mom itself.
So depression can lead to an increased risk for miscarriage. We're not sure exactly how much that is, but we have seen in mums that are depressed, they're at high risk for miscarriage, they're at higher risk for preterm labor. With bonding, definitely depression can impact on bonding because mums, you know, you feel depressed, you feel down, you have no drive, you have no energy, and that affects your social interaction. But even if mums are depressed, they can still bond, and an easy way to help with that bonding is for mums to just mirror what their baby does. So if baby smiles, you smile. If baby makes a funny face, you make a funny face. The kind of things that we do, if you think about it normally with babies, we make faces at them.
Yeah.
And that is a simple thing that allows mum to bond with the baby, for baby to feel that bonding, and also helps mum get out of the depression.
And I think also in Estelle's case, just taking a look at some treatment for her daughter, you mentioned, like we're speaking about, obviously, postpartum depression. How severe can it get? Thank you very much for your call, Estelle, by the way.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Estelle.
It can get really severe. So it can get to the point where mothers are no longer able to function. And there have been some really tragic cases where women have killed themselves and killed their babies because of postpartum depression. So it's a serious condition and it needs to be treated. And the thing is, Kath and I were just speaking during the break, that depression is so easily treated and so effectively treated. Medication is very safe to use during pregnancy and during breastfeeding. And we just both want to get the message out to mums. You can still be on medication, breastfeed.
That's very important because breastfeeding plays such an important role in also the bonding process. We definitely don't want to remove that. And there's no reason, there's no science behind not being able to breastfeed while you're taking medication.
Is it possible, are there cases where a mom can get postpartum depression a while after baby has arrived, like 6 months after or 10 months after? Are there cases of that happening?
You can get postpartum depression up to a year.
Wow.
So the most common period is in that 6 to 8 weeks afterwards. But many mothers can get it up to a year. And often, you know, you see mums who come to you with older babies, and they're coming for the first time at 10 months, a year, even 18 months or later, but the depression has started earlier and it hasn't been picked up. So, I mean, if you are worried, go and get help. It's better to be told you don't have depression, it's something else, it's just an adjustment thing, than to sit with the depression and have it go untreated.
What does treatment look like for somebody that's in a severe stage of postpartum depression? You know, if you want to maybe help a fellow mom, a friend, a family member of yours, what would that treatment scenario look like?
So treatment, we work as a team. So we usually work as a team with a psychiatrist, a psychologist, the GP, the gynae, and the pediatrician. That's your ideal team with all of us on board, all of us helping that mum. And the ideal form of treatment would be psychotherapy. And if it's a more moderate to severe depression, we would then use medication. Because therapy is hard work, and you often need medication to give you that initial lift to allow you to then work in therapy.
We've got a call on the line. Tumi from Cape Town. Tumi, good morning. What is your question or comment for our experts this morning?
Good morning. Thank you so much for taking my call. I just want to find out how long can depression last?
How long can postpartum depression last?
Depression can last years if it's not treated, but if it is treated, you can get better within 2 to 3 weeks.
All right, thank you very much,
There you go,
Tumi, for your
Tumi.
call. So if you identify maybe yourself, family member, friend, what advice would you give? What is the first step that you need to take? Obviously recognizing that there is some form of postpartum depression.
I would suggest they go and see who their healthcare practitioner is, the person they're most comfortable with. And that can be their pediatrician, that can be their gynae, the family doctor, their dietitian, because you're seeing a lot of babies, baby clinic sisters, whoever their first port of call is. And that person will then take it further and refer them on to whoever's needed.
And can nutrition play a role in making sure that you manage this and, of course, having a very kind of successful pregnancy with no depression?
I wouldn't put it out there to say it would totally prevent depression, but definitely we know being well nourished, meeting all your requirements is definitely going to be a good platform and foundation to base therapy on, add medication to if necessary, and of course allow for successful breastfeeding going forward. So it does play a role like that.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. It is a rather heavy subject this morning as well, but
an important one as well.
An important one. There is help. We need to talk about these things. There is help out there. So prevention, as we were saying, is way better than cure. We know that as well. And if you pick up a hint of postpartum depression, maybe you as a man with regards to your partner, act at risk, as soon as you can, because if you feel you are at risk, consult your local clinic, maybe your GP even, or even a psychiatrist as well, and just know that you are not alone in this.
Yeah, and thank you so much to Kath and, of course, Dr. Bavi. Our Baby Talk segment is proudly brought to you by Nutrikids.
Nutrikids, good for mom, way better for kids. Made with love by Clover.